Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
And whether you are joining us tonight on one of the many glorious apps or at home on your computer, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. If you are not on one of the many glorious apps, remember to take your smartphone, search for TuneIn Radio. It is free to download. Just install it. Search MSC Radio Network. Press play, and you're listening to us live on the go from your phone, wherever you may be. It is that simple and that easy, so go ahead and do it. And remember, if you're not listening on your phone, you can take that very same phone, call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. And, of course, you can find us on Twitter. It's at high_on_sports. I am at eRalphieW. He is at Von Erich.
Yes.
She is not there.
Technically, I am.
Technically, you are, but it would not be worth following.
No.
We did.
Technically, yes. Technically, no.
We forced you to make a Twitter, and you went on, and there was it glitched on your computer or something. It wasn't working, and there was
It was a
nowhere
sign.
to submit, and then we just exited
It
out.
was-
That was the end of that.
It was a sign. I was going to send my first tweet. My computer froze. Couldn't do anything. And I'm like, oh, it's a sign. I don't belong
We'll
on
see.
Twitter.
We might get you back at that. We might have to have you do it. We might have to set up a bet in the near future where if you lose, you have to
I have to
Start.
tweet on the regular.
You have to tweet once a week. We'll see. We'll think of something here. We got a whole summer to figure out. And remember, like us on Facebook. It is facebook.com/high-on-sports. It's just High on Sports, right? Not High on Sports, right? The
High on
Facebook
Sports.
is, that's right, facebook.com/High on Sports. The page is High on Sports Radio.
Yeah, we were quick on that one.
We were. Good for us. All right. And, of course, the website is highonsports.net. It's got the archive of all our past shows, Mark's blog, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Mark's latest blog is about, which one is this? Spring training. Talks about
Nice.
spring training. Quote, unquote, spring. I refuse to call it spring training without air quotes because it's too damn cold outside. It's not even fair.
Right. Spring doesn't start until you hear the crack of the bat.
That's right. Or March 21st, according to agricultural calendars.
We're going to get into technicalities again.
Again, that is highonsports.net. All right, we have got a jam-packed show for you, so let's get right into things here. It is round one. Let's go. All right, let's start on the international level with this show because that's what we are. We love the city of Cleveland. We're from the greater Cleveland area, all of us. We broadcast from the heart of Cleveland, Ohio. But the beauty of us being on these particular airwaves, the internet stuff, means we are around the world. So let's look at what is truly just a spectacle of sport for all nations, the Olympics. It is over now, and I think I can say from the bottom of my heart, thank God, because this sucks. The Winter Olympics, I'm sorry, you can call me a hater, you can call me what you want. I've been saying it the whole time, so I'm nothing if not consistent. But I've been saying it the whole time. The Winter Olympics, they're just not good. I mean, some of the individual sports are entertaining. Sometimes. I'll give them that. But, I mean, compare it to the Summer Olympics. Way more medals, way more diverse events, just way more entertaining across the board. Plus, it's warm outside, so I can look out the window and see that it's nice.
I think it's just
While I'm
because
watching
it's
TV.
winter. You're just depressed
Yeah,
because it's
it just
winter, so
adds
you're
to that
taking
feeling
that
of
out
claustrophobia.
onto the Winter Olympics. Because I like the Winter Olympics.
Like what? What are you really big passionate about?
I like the snowboarding and bobsled.
Snowboarding.
And
Get
hockey.
a job. Get a job, snowboarders.
Snowboarding, bobsled, and hockey.
I mean,
And everything that goes with the bobsled, like the skeleton, luge is a little
Well,
weird.
I got our medal standings, final medal standings, and we did not finish
We
on
choked.
top, which means we might have as well have not even gone.
We choked.
Am I wrong in saying that? Listen, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get all, I am going to get all USA, screw you, everybody else. But we send more than anyone.
Well,
The United
actually, I
States-
think Russia sent the most
They
people
might have
this
had
year.
the most because they were already there and they didn't have to pay for them to go anywhere. Maybe that's true, but the fact is we're the United States. We are the sports. Sports mean more to us than anywhere in the country.
Well, we see this
I
all
mean,
the
in the
time,
world,
no
that was a
matter where
stupid-
the Olympics are.
that was
When
a
it was
stupid
in
statement. Go on.
Beijing, like China all of a sudden was a medal leader. When
That's right. You get home field advantage.
Yeah, so that happens. Well, maybe not in Greece, but then again.
And oh yeah, that's right. And for those of you listening at home, yes, I did say the United States cares more about sports than anyone in the country. And yes, I meant to say world. But anyways, no, you're absolutely right. The home field advantage is very real. It happened with Canada in the last Winter Olympics. Did it
We
happen
still
with
won the
England?
medal count, though.
We did.
Yeah, in the Canadian.
Did it
one.
happen with England? I don't feel like
United
English.
Kingdom, I think
No.
they were high in the
They
medal
were-
count.
they were
Maybe,
high,
but I
but
don't, I
we
don't
still
feel like
won
they were
it.
near the top. They're British. They're sitting there eating eel pie and stuff. They
What?
don't. Yeah, they make eels into pies. That's a thing. You can look that up. They're a weird place. They're not athletic.
But the top 5, even in this Winter Olympics, you can tell all cold countries.
Except- well, yeah.
With the exception of the United States, of course, but we just,
I mean, we're
of
a-
course, medal and everything.
Look
We've got some-
outside. We're a cold country.
Oh, compared to Russia, Canada,
Absolutely.
Norway, I would say we get a little more sun than
That's
they
very
do.
fair. That's very fair. We're in the perfect location. Perfect location.
Yes.
But
Especially when our our medaling athletes are from California and Arizona, and
that's true. But and then the thing about the United States is how many of these athletes from other countries come and train almost
Here.
year round here. Because this is, I'm sorry, the United States is the sports epicenter of the world. We don't do soccer. Not our thing. Whatever. But you will, sports mean more here. Just athletics and stuff like that mean more in the United States than anywhere else. I will challenge you. Yeah, there's some ridiculously drunk soccer fans out there, and like that's one
Well,
thing.
you
But
see,
that's the thing.
we're-
Fans. We have soccer here. They play games all year round, but we don't have the fans for soccer, as opposed to, in Europe and the rest of the world.
See, like,
Absolutely
because
right.
all the other countries in the world, they have one sport that everyone gravitates to. Us in America, we do everything. But see, like,
Exactly.
over in England and Europe and all that, it's soccer and that's it.
And you know what?
Russia, it's hockey and some weird stuff. That's it.
And you know what? They've got 18,000 different soccer leagues across.
They
across
do.
Europe. They've got, the I can't even list any off. Premier League, that's one. EPL, what that is the Premier League. Never mind. Whatever. They've got other ones. And
yeah.
They go
But-
like
and
year
that's-
round with it. The thing is, like football. Football is the closest thing to our soccer for here in the States, and we find reasons to make it take headlines when it's not even going on. The scouting combine just happened. Should that even be on TV? No, but I watched
The whole thing. The whole thing's on TV.
I watched some people jog
yeah.
on TV for my own enjoyment. I didn't have to do that. I could have watched anything else. There were some reruns of Cheers, and I skipped right over that, and I watched the combine.
Yeah. And that's what we do everything because
Exactly.
baseball's coming. We're gonna be. Who else does baseball besides Japan? Japan's like obsessed with baseball. That's the only sport they do.
Australia is gonna have the opening series.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
We're gonna get more to that later. We're gonna touch
I'm
on
getting
that
so
later.
sick of this
We'll
going
get-
everywhere else to.
We'll get on that because there's someone actually playing in the game that very much agrees with you. And we'll get to his comments a little later in the show. But that's called a tease. But right now, Olympic standings right here. I'm going to run through some of them here, at least top 5. Netherlands finished with 8 gold, 24 total. Canada, 10 gold, 25 total. Norway, 11 gold, 26 total. The United States, only 9 gold.
But 12 LeBrons.
12 LeBron's medals, 28 total. Russian Federation. Boy, does that not sound like a villain from Star Wars. Just saying. 13
Oh, yeah,
gold
them and
and
the Kardashians.
33 total. Russian Federation. That just... Is anything that ends in Federation, like... Did they come
Bad
up
News
as the
Bears.
good guys?
It's Bad News Bears.
Exactly. I don't even... Like, I feel like they're the bad guys in the new Star Wars they're making. It's like Luke and Han taking on the Russian Federation. I don't know. Now, there's something I like to do. You may remember we did it with the Summer Olympics of 2 years ago. I like to highlight the real salt of the earth countries, the countries that came and went home with 1 bronze medal. The people who said, damn it, I came here to win a medal, and that's what I'm going to do. Only 1 country took home the coveted solo bronze, and it was
Kazakhstan.
Was
it really?
It was.
Yeah, it was. They got
was.
with their one athlete that they sent. Their one guy that they sent.
Very
cross country
nice.
skier.
Figure skating.
Oh, figure skating.
It was their figure skating. They sent a couple athletes, but it was a figure skating. No, had the cross country skier won gold, they were going to give him $500,000
Oh shit.
or all of the money Kazakhstan.
Since he got the bronze, he only gets a $250 gift card to Target.
Starbucks.
Yeah, I wonder if either of those are in Kazakhstan. We'll never know. We could probably Google it, but we won't. Anyways, that's.
The
You know,
USA.
you
choked.
brought up the weather is part of it, and it absolutely is. It's like, because I watched, they're.
It was like 45 every day.
But I'm just saying, it's like this just snow weather in general. Is they're competing with ski goggles and like and wool hats and just like thick snow coats and stuff. This doesn't look like sports to me.
Yeah, like a hat that I'm wearing right now, in
That's
case
good.
you're watching on YouTube and not listening on the TuneIn Radio app.
It's a very nice hat, by the way. I feel like I should acknowledge it now that it's been brought up. Very nice hat. I like
Very
it.
warm.
Good. That's the goal.
I'm
Yeah, you gotta
realizing
stay warm in
now
the winter
that,
up here. It's a little,
Shouldn't
it's a
have
little
worn it in the
nipply.
studio, but whatever. It's on now, and I can do.
Keeping your head steamy.
There you go. Let's find out. Let's see who's leading. I think, yeah, that's right. The United States leads all of the world in bronze. Did you guys
There
check
we
out
go.
the closing ceremonies at all, by the way?
No, I
No,
missed
not
it.
at all.
They were forgettable except for one thing that I commend the Russian Federation on. And it was people standing in big circles, joining hands or something, forming the Olympic rings. And they had the 5th ring not open at first. As a joke, as an homage to, them poking fun at themselves. That was very un-Russian of them. Very not couldn't see Putin approving that, but apparently he did. So, because I'm certain Putin knew every single thing that was about to happen. Although it
More
would have been
than
cool to
likely.
see it get hijacked or something by like Pussy Riot. Like just suddenly
Oh, that
come out on the
weird
stage and
band
start
that's-
performing. Are they even a band? I don't even understand.
I don't know what they are, but apparently they don't like Putin.
No, I saw them on Colbert, just speaking Russian with like a translator and stuff.
Yeah.
It
I
was.
think they're a
All I
sketch
know
comedy
is-
troupe.
It's probably
They
a
better-
Russian sketch comedy troupe.
They're gonna end up
Russian kids in the hall.
vanishing from the face of the earth. They keep talking smack about Putin, though.
No, you know what?
He don't
I-
play games.
I am a huge fan of Pussy Riot. Not their music because I still don't know if they actually play any.
What I heard is they were terrible.
They probably are, but I'm telling you, they were on Colbert and they actually Putin let them out of jail as sort of a look how great Russia is. We don't kill people for singing songs. To kind of look good before the Olympics, but when they're on there, they're like, I defy him to put us back. Like they're like,
What's
like,
also
they're just
fun to
calling them
note is
out.
once those two went on Colbert and did like a kind of, a U.S. tour of, different news shows and stuff, the actual Pussy Riot group like disowned them. They're like, oh, they're not part of us
Really?
anymore. Yeah. So
That's too bad for them.
It's all
'cause
about
those-
keeping it, anonymous and all that. But, I guess they did a lot for their cause when you really think about it.
I'm
yeah.
a real big fan of a Pussy Riot.
Right? Hey, the main one. It's a shame.
Hey, it doesn't even have to be Russian either.
Oh boy.
The one was really hot though. The brunette or whatever that was on Colbert and all the Russian thing and stuff. But anyways, that's for a different day. But let's change gears a little bit. We're gonna go into our soccer, which is football, as we discussed at the top of the show. As I touched on earlier, the combine was this weekend, and let me preface it with this. I know that the combine is totally stupid and useless, and I think everyone out there should be aware of that as well. For the record, I saw an amazing quote today. Well, I don't know if it's a quote, whatever, but it was someone mentioned. Here's an example of how useless the combine is. After seeing the combine and watching everybody, go out there and show their stuff and whatever. The NFL decided, no, granted it was mostly the Browns, decided that Russell Wilson is a pick deserving of the 3rd round, and Brandon Whedon was a pick deserving of the 1st round. That is in the same draft. That is what the Combine told people, and that is what scouting told people. So ultimately, as with all of these offseason things, take them with a grain of salt.
Don't they still have to take the Rorschach test?
Do that with the ink blots?
Yeah.
Is that the
That's the ink
quarterbacks?
block.
What does that even tell you?
The Wonderlic test or whatever
Right.
it is.
They're gonna
And
take
the
the-
high score is 7.
Oh yeah, the kid. What was it? Oh, I can't even remember now. It was Morris Claiborne, I think. I feel like I want to say it's Morris Claiborne had one of the worst scores ever in the history of the Wonderlic, where it's like people were joking like that he spelled his name incorrectly. Like you didn't even get the points for putting your name. Like it was so bad. But whatever. I mean, again, with all this, take it all with a grain of salt. Jadeveon Clowney, though, obviously everybody was keeping an eye on him. He ran an official 4.47. No, that's his unofficial. I don't have his official. Whatever.
I think
But
the official was 4.53. I think.
all right. Well, he ran a 4.47, 4.53, whatever. Either way, that is absolutely ridiculous for somebody
For a
that's
big-
as big
yeah.
as he is. His hands are 10 inches from thumb to pinky.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's like, it's
That's like
unimaginable.
2 of my hands.
Exactly. That's like 2 of your entire body across. Is how big one of his hands are. Let's
Dear
look at
God.
Let's look at some punter times. Cody Mandel, punter out of Alabama, ran a 4.89.
Hey.
And blazing him out of the water comes Pat O'Donnell out of Miami with a 4.64. That's not bad. That's not bad. Couple of sub 5 40 times
Hey,
for
I
some
see
punters.
some fake punts in their
Sure.
repertoire.
Leading all, let me see, this isn't even in order. Where's your leader? This is the quarterbacks times. And there's some really bad ones. Keith Wenning from Ball State ran a 5.0. Jeff Matthews from Cornell, clearly known for his brain and not his legs.
Cornell, you ever heard of it?
5.26. Yeah, isn't it a thing? It's like that's one of them smart schools, right? Ivy League. Cornell's Ivy League. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That's
That's hardcore Ivy.
David Fail, San Jose State, a 4.99, not good. Taj Boyd, a 4.84. Let's get into the good stuff here. Johnny Manziel, 4.68. He looked quick. We got a 4.63 from Stephen Morris out of Miami. I believe that is actually your fastest time. Yeah. It is Stephen Morris out of Miami, a 4.63. Let me see if I can find running backs because there's a kid here, the guy that led everybody. Yes, comes out of Kent State. Dry Archer. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not a real name. Archer out of Kent State.
This is really starting to sound like that sketch from Key and Peele with all
Exactly, right?
with all the college ball players.
Jadinklage Margoon out of the University of South Florida. No, Archer, D. Archer from Kent State, a 4.26, or approximately the time it takes the human eye to blink. That is absolutely ridiculous. But then the wide receivers, of course, lighting it up. I think that was the fastest. Yeah, that was the fastest time, wide receiver or running back or whatever, all weekend. That's nuts. There's some speedy times here for the receivers though. Let me see if I can find the one receiver that people are really keeping an eye here on. The one separating himself from the rest would of course be Sammy Watkins, and I'll see if I can locate his time. There we go. Clemson 4.43, pretty fast, not bad. I want to talk about something though. The combine is starting to mean less and less every year. Johnny Manziel did not throw at the combine. All right. Teddy Bridgewater did not throw at the combine. Teddy Bridgewater did not run at the combine. I don't know why Teddy Bridgewater went to the combine. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if he did some cone drills that really blew people out of the water or something, but it was absolutely ridiculous. And you've got guys like Jordan Lynch, the quarterback out of, where's he out of? Northern Illinois or something? He ran drills as a running back because he knows no one's going to select him as a quarterback. The combine, I watched the 40 times. I think that's the most interesting. Carlos Hyde, by the way, former Ohio State Buckeye, He had about a 4.6 something, and he hurt himself on it. Pulled something in a hammy or something, and took himself out of the second run. So that's all we really got on that. But let's talk something else going on, of course, in the NFL right now. And it's about our own beloved Cleveland Browns. The big news out of this weekend, really out of the Combine in general, reports coming out that the Browns, before they settled on Mike Pettin, had reportedly offered a pretty decent package of draft picks to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for their head coach, Jim Harbaugh, who is reportedly unhappy and is considering offers like that to try to get out of town. And depending on who you ask, it was reportedly a done deal, but Harbaugh changed his mind, or if the 49ers claim that the Browns called and they said no and didn't let it go any further. Who knows? All we know for sure is that it happened because Jimmy Haslam today, I like what he did actually, is he came out and he was asked the question and he answered it. He was speaking with the USA Today today. He was asked about it and whether or not he had spoken with Harbaugh and everything, and he said, listen, we pursued a lot of different venues before we picked Mike Pettin, and that was one of them. They had been contacted, and it was something that was discussed, and that's absolutely great. But what I want to talk about is people really talking about how this supposedly makes the organization look more dysfunctional. That stories like this are coming out with Mike Pettin already as the guy. It makes Mike Pettin look worse, and honestly, I don't think that's further from the truth. It's all what happened before Pettin. When Pettin wasn't here, he can't feel betrayed.
Yeah.
Before he was hired, the Browns were trying to get someone else. I mean, I don't understand. And Mike Pettin himself, he's not coming out saying I feel bad and everything. I actually have his response when asked about it. This is the response from new Cleveland Browns head coach Mike Pettin when he learned the report that the team tried to trade for coach Jim Harbaugh before he got the job. He says, quote, I got a phone call that the report was about to come out, and I shot the messenger a little bit, Pettin said at the podium on Saturday. My first question was, how does this affect my tenure as the head coach? I either used the word flying followed by something, or I referred to a part of a rat's body. Best answer you could have given. And that's absolutely right. And you know what? And what I love, though, is he gave no comment without saying no comment.
Yeah.
He gave no comment like you would give if you're actually not commenting on something. Because when you say no comment, it's like, oh, I can read into that, you know? It's just like, what do you think about this? I don't give a part of a rat's body. I mean, that's great. That's absolutely great, and it's absolutely right. It's what happened before this. It doesn't mean anything, and I don't know why now everybody's blowing it up and blowing it out of proportion. And it's funny because now it's like a tire fire that the wind has blown over to something else, to like a patch of woods that's now caught on fire. Because all of a sudden it goes from like, oh, Browns, what does this mean? Browns. And all of a sudden people are like, wait a minute. The 49ers were willing to talk about getting rid of Harbaugh, and now all of a sudden there's 1,000,001 questions about Jim Harbaugh. And in regards to him, there's rumors that he and the GM can't see eye to eye on anything, and that everybody believes he's only going to be there for a number of years and everything like that. And it's just, looking at it as a fan of the Browns, where we've just been losing so long, I can't look at a winning team like that and understand why they're so dysfunctional. I guess it's just a perspective, you have looking from the bottom. But honestly, I look at that and it's like, oh, you can't see eye to eye. You were just in a Super Bowl and just went to 3 straight NFC championships. Why don't you shut the hell up and start seeing eye to eye?
Right?
We wonder every year if we're going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. You guys wonder if you're going to win the Super Bowl. Maybe you can check your egos at the door and see if you can get your shit together. And honestly, this may sound crazy, and this is, probably mostly just me showing support for Pettin, but I don't want Harbaugh if it's going to be like this.
Right?
Especially if it meant giving away as much as is rumored to be given away. I mean, what happens?
You're talking a lot of picks there.
Exactly. What happens when we start giving away multiple early round picks, and he gets here and coaches who?
Yeah.
Do we put Brandon Weeden back out there? Which, by the way, a couple weeks ago, I love that story so much. After Banner and Lombardi and them were fired, a report comes out that Brandon Weeden supposedly wants out of town. Brandon Weeden. No one's asking you if you want to be here. We're asking who's willing to take you. And if no one is, they're just going to cut you. You don't get to want out of here. You've been wanted out of here for a good while now. You asking to leave is utterly useless. It would be like Banner right now asking to leave. When they announced that he's not out, he's technically the Browns on his way out for the next 2 months. He's being phased out of the organization. That would be like Banner coming out now and saying, "Well, I want to leave." Well, you're leaving. You're leaving. Don't worry about that. But let's talk a little bit of Cavaliers though. We're gonna change gears before we go on break. We've got a little bit of time. They made a good trade, a very good trade, honestly, in my opinion. This past week, this trade deadline was really quiet.
It was. There was nothing big.
I thought Rondo was gonna get moved. Actually, as weird as that sounds, because I started hearing all these reports suddenly that the Houston Rockets were interested in Rajon Rondo. And I could have seen them easily putting together some kind of, multiple first-round picks as well as Jeremy Lin over to Boston. But I'm surprised that didn't materialize. They said they wanted 2 first-round picks. And I think about it, it's like, I would give up 2 first-round picks for Rajon Rondo. I mean, granted, the Cavaliers have Kyrie Irving. But all of a sudden, my mind starts thinking, like, I'd be willing to give up 2 picks. And then all of a sudden, we have 2 point guards. We move one of them to shooting guard. And, it's one of those impossible things that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But 2 first-round picks for Rajon Rondo, I would pull the trigger on that, I think. Anyways, the Cavaliers obviously did not trade for Rajon Rondo because that wouldn't make any sense. They traded for Spencer Hawes of the Philadelphia 76ers, who's averaged 13 points and 8.5 rebounds in 53 starts this season. He's a really good piece. I like him. He's not, obviously not a star in the making, not one of those types at all. But he's someone that brings an interesting game to the floor.
Yeah, coming off the bench with the second team.
And he's a big man who can actually shoot a jump shot. He has a mid-range jumper, a little bit like Z. Where with Zydrunas Ilgauskas, you can count on that 10-15 footer. And it's nice to have that because it stretches the floor. All of a sudden, when the opposing center has to worry about guarding their center in outside of the paint, it leaves the paint open for obviously, someone handling the ball to make it in there. So, I mean, just from a sheer principle of offense in the game, granted, the coach that the Cavaliers have doesn't know what offense is and doesn't know how to draw up a play. But if he did, it would be a very useful piece in the puzzle here. And you know what? And it was a smart trade for multiple reasons. A, he's a good piece who's going to help him win some games. And he's got an expiring contract. This is the last year of his deal. And the Cavaliers traded, I don't have his numbers offhand, but Earl Clark, who they just signed this offseason, who has been nothing but a disappointment, and is signed to, at least 4 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Was it 3-4 years, something like that. So now basically they went from having to pay a guy to do nothing for multiple years to paying a guy to help them win right now for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
It frees up even more money. Although at some point, it's a issue that needs to be debated in some capacity. But something the Cavaliers have been doing for a number of years now, and the Browns have been doing, is they make all these great salary cap moves, but when the hell are they going to spend it?
Exactly. Nothing ever seems to pay off.
I mean, the thing is, people get on the Indians for not spending money. But the Cavaliers and Browns, I mean, people give them credit for shedding contracts and making more room in the salary cap.
But they never use it.
But they don't do anything with it. And everybody's like, oh, they're in a great spot. They got a lot of money left. Well, if they're not luring anybody here, if nobody wants to come here, then what's that money doing? It's just going to sit there. I don't know. But they traded Earl Clark, 2 second-round picks, which are nothing, and Henry Sims, a backup center, to the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers, I'm very impressed with how much they increased their odds of tanking this season at the trade deadline. They picked up Danny Granger, who was great a couple years ago. Unfortunately, they picked him up this year. So we'll see what that does. They traded away Evan Turner. That was absolutely huge. That was probably the biggest move. It's understated too. Evan Turner to the Indiana Pacers. They acquired 4 second-round picks at the trade deadline. The Philadelphia 76ers did. So I don't know if this is going to be a super deep second round or they have no idea what they're doing, but we'll find that out in a couple months. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, you're going to find out alternating kick us off. We're going to talk spring training, MLB news, all that good stuff, 3 up, 3 down, and so much more. Listening to High on Sports on the MSC Radio Network.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
I can almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic, made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. Looking for reliable and affordable shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Oh, great. Not another Farmville request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Morning Show Central. Denying one Farmville request at a time. MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. User-friendly and ready to serve. morningshowcentral.com. Call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Hello, and welcome back to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
and whether you are joining us tonight on one of the many glorious apps or at home on your computer, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. If you're not on one of the many glorious apps, remember to take your smartphone, search for TuneIn Radio. It is free to download. Just install it. Search MSC Radio Network. Hit play, and you listen to us live on the go from your phone. Or you can take that very same phone and call us toll free at 1-888-668-0742. You can email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. You can, of course, find us on Twitter at @high_on_sports. I am at eRalphieW. He is at Von Erich. You can tweet your questions or comments or hate. If you want to insult us via Twitter, that's fine too. That's why it's here.
Or you can send a certified letter or a letter to Ashley to 1419 East 40th, Cleveland, Ohio, 44103. Right?
Yeah, we might
Send a photograph.
we might read the letter on the air.
If you send a letter to that address, we will read it live on the air. I don't care what it says. It say something terrible, offensive, racist. Someone will read it on the air. I'm not going to guarantee me.
And then we'll post them on Facebook.
Someone on this show besides me would read that letter on the air.
Besides you.
No matter what it
Man
says.
up, Ralphie, and read it.
And there's certain things I don't want audio of me saying. And I have a feeling if someone took advantage of that, the letter would just say that. Anyways, remember, we're also on Facebook. Like the fan page. It is facebook.com/high-on-sports. And, of course, the website is highonsports.net. It's got the archive of all our past shows, Mark's blog, including his latest piece about spring training in Major League Baseball, and so much more. Again, that is highonsports.net. So let's get right into things here. It is round 2. Let's go. All right, this is our last show of February. This is what this is. Stop looking at my computer. I didn't know that would come up. Anyways, this is the last show of February.
He's playing Spider-Man. He was swinging through the buildings.
I clicked something. I didn't know what's going to come up.
I wouldn't have
This
clicked
is
off
our
it. I would have
last
kept going.
show of February, which is, of course, Black History Month.
Oh, yes.
And Von Erich has been honoring the month each week with a different jersey of just an icon of racial equality in the world of sports. And Von Erich, why don't you take
who
it
I'm
from
honoring this week is not just a great African American, but a great humanitarian, a man who will be retiring at the end of this upcoming baseball season.
Bud Selig?
And oh man, yeah, like I'd be calling him a great anything. But it pains me to wear Yankees gear, but I'm ending it
Oh,
with Derek Jeter.
Wow, fitting.
Isn't he mixed? I feel like
Yeah,
he's
I believe
whatever.
he is a
half white.
mulatto, but you know,
He's biracial.
like a famous former intern once said, you know, if you got any black in you, you're a
black.
you're a N-word.
Was that Ty?
No, it was,
Who said that?
Ronnie B.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Christmas's half brother guy.
All right.
All right, but going right into what urinates me off, sticking with Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
He is retiring at the end of the year.
Are they gonna do another every stadium send-off party?
That's what I'm urinated off about.
Oh.
He's going to be traveling around the country to all these different stadiums, and what they're going to be doing is giving him gifts and honoring him in other cities, Cleveland included, I'm
Oh,
sure.
my
Just like we
God.
did last year with Mo Rivera. And it sickens me that you are honoring another team's guy on your
absolutely.
turf. You know, regardless of, okay, Jeter, first ballot Hall of Famer for sure, but being a Yankee, we never liked him here.
Absolutely.
So why would we honor him on our turf? It just boggles my mind, and it's extremely frustrating. I'm a disgruntled fan, and I won't stand for it.
This is horse shit. I'm just letting everybody know that.
You're absolutely right. And the problem that bothers me is that it is just so close to the last one of these.
Yeah, it just happened last year.
Exactly. Like, it's just, it's weird because it's something that happened, sort of, it happens in the NBA as well. To an extent, is like when we know Kobe's last year, it's gonna be
the same
everybody's gonna be,
freaking
Bye,
thing.
Kobe, we love you.
All three
'Cause
times that Jordan retired, they did the same
the
thing.
Miami Heat have the number 23 retired for
Which is
Michael
the
Jordan.
Stupidest thing.
He
never played a game in Miami.
He never played on any level in the state
Michael
of Florida.
Jordan was halfway through his career when the Heat made their first season debut.
There you go.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense why they retired. I don't get it. They're taking it. Yeah.
And you know what? But I was thinking about it, it's like you would never see this in football.
No.
You never would. It doesn't matter who the guy is. Like Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton Manning. Do you think they're gonna honor him in God? I don't know. I almost said Tennessee because he played the Titans all the time, but I realized they probably would because they love him in that state. But no, I mean in New England. You think he's gonna go to a Patriots game his last time against Tom Brady?
And they're gonna give him a present,
standing ovation or something? No.
They're gonna say
Do an extended halftime just so they can do a presentation to him. No. The only time it happens in football is if it's a high school game and there's a mentally challenged kid on the other side.
Yeah.
And they let him score a touchdown on their
Ray
turf.
Lewis's last year, he didn't get gifts from everybody.
No, exactly. That's a great point because Ray Lewis was one of the greatest. I mean, really one of the greatest at his position, probably of all time. And when he came to Cleveland, we were like, "Screw you, you."
We're like, "I
murderer."
still don't like you, you bastard."
Get outta here, murderer.
Playing for the Ravens.
Exactly. And I mean, I had a perfect one too, and I just lost it. But Ray Lewis, that is probably the best one. That is probably the best example of someone we knew. We knew that was his last year.
Yeah, he said it
We knew
before
was
the
his last
season
year.
started.
But it just does not work like that. It absolutely does not. And I was gonna say the one time I could see it in the NFL is when the opposing team is that player's former team, but they left in good standings. I.e., if Peyton Manning's last game were to be against Indianapolis,
Yeah.
that would be one of those situations where Indianapolis,
But that's a former team.
Exactly.
It's not like every
Exactly.
Every
stadium
single
he goes
t- yeah.
to.
No. That's what I'm saying is that's the one justification for the opponent honoring you.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
If it was-
It does not work like that in other sports.
No, I think this is the most asinine thing.
I know
that's
baseball
ever
is a
happened.
gentleman's game, but I think we need to bring in some more soccer hooliganism.
Right?
Exactly.
You're not supposed to be best friends with
I think
your enemy.
it's baseball because baseball is old school, and like you said, it's people trying to be gentlemen. It's a gentleman's game. That's why
But
they do it in
they're
baseball.
going overboard with
They
it.
do it in basketball because sorry, basketball, there is no honor to a city or team in the entire NBA. There is no loyalty in the NBA.
No,
there
there's
just
not.
isn't. I'm sorry. No one's ever like, no player ever takes pride in what they do. Kobe likes being on the Lakers because it's Showtime. It's a Hollywood stage.
The only NBA one I would disagree with is if Ron Artest's final year, he gets into a brawl in every stadium that he goes to.
Yes!
With the opposing crowd.
Fun fact about that, Meta World Peace is his name. The Artest, formerly known as Ron, maybe his final year, he was just waived by the New York Knicks.
Oh.
And is currently up for grabs. Cleveland, get on the phone.
What did they waive?
He's getting
him?
old, man.
That gay guy Collins?
No, no. The Knicks. That's the Nets brought in Collins to go get some fouls. That's
For real?
What?
They
What?
They
Brought him in to get fouls? I mean, that's not his.
No, I thought-
position. They brought him in, but
I thought he wasn't even. He hasn't even played this whole year, has he?
No,
I
they
thought he was a
si-
free agent.
he
a
was.
free agent.
They signed him to a 10-day contract because they needed a 7-footer, and he's
Yeah, they were low on big men,
The
and
only-
they need him for some below-the-belt type activity, so to speak.
Ball taps.
I mean, he was the move of hiring him. I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth on it because what I don't like is and what probably happened, and I'm trying to convince myself just as a human that it's not the case. And even though I know it is, I'm going to constantly convince myself that it is not the case. But I'm upset that I'm fairly convinced at this point that they signed him for a
Publicity stunt? Yeah.
And it's just super. I mean, they do have a need, and that's what everybody keeps trying to point out. Like, well, I mean, Kevin Garnett was, they wanted to save his minutes. They wanted to get a big body in there. They needed a big whatever. It's like, I just feel like, and it's nothing against Jason Collins because I try to look at this objectively as from a basketball decision. It to me would make more sense to find and sign someone to a 10-day contract that maybe has been cut by a team.
Yeah, that's been playing all season.
Or
someone in the D League.
somewhere. Not just. I mean,
Exactly.
he stayed in
Not just-
shape. And it's whatever, and he did exactly what he's done his whole career, which is like he even said in his big statement. He's like he's an NBA enforcer. They brought him in to foul people, to basically get in there and knock somebody out, whatever. And that's what he did. He came in, he got like 2 rebounds and 5 fouls in like 10 minutes. And so that's all fine and good, and it is a great moment, and I don't want to take away from it and stuff because I mean, good for him and everything. But I really do feel like the Nets made the move because for the publicity.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I don't want to feel like that. And like I said, I'm gonna constantly be in denial the whole time and convince myself that it's just good, okay, what a happy moment, But and a part of it makes it seem like the timing is also what seems strange to me. Is Michael Sam?
Yeah, that college kid.
Publicly came out about 2 weeks ago, maybe. At this point, it hasn't been long, and Michael Sam was poised to become the first openly gay player in the Big Four sports, and now he's not. I mean, which I don't think takes anything away from him per se, because he's still going to be the first one in the NFL, which is the most important sport. But the fact of the matter is, it just seems like, oh well, if we can swoop in and get this guy real quick.
Yeah, now we'll be in the news.
We can be like, oh, look at us, we're important, we're popular. I don't know. Neither here nor there, but I totally forgot we were even on a urinating off. So thank you, Von Erich.
Can I take this stupid shirt off?
Take it off.
You can take that shirt off. All
Lose
right,
it.
Ashley, I understand you have something you would like to share, and it comes from the wild world of NASCAR.
It does. So, Richard Petty was at like some NASCAR convention thing. I don't know
What
it
else
was.
is he gonna do?
But he's by far one of the greatest NASCAR drivers ever in the history of NASCAR.
He's no intimidator.
And they asked him about Danica Patrick. And he said the only way that she'll ever win a race in NASCAR is if everybody else fails to show up. And all these feminists and everyone else got all their panties in a bunch saying, oh, you're just hating on her because she's a woman. No, he said that because she's a terrible freaking driver. She won absolutely no races when she was in the Formula One Indy cars.
She doesn't even have one. I thought she had one.
No, she finished in the top 10 a couple times, but she never even won a race in that. She went into the Nationwide Series, which is like the minor leagues of NASCAR. Never won a race in that. She had a few top 10s, and in like her 4 years down there, that was it. The whole season last year in NASCAR, in the big boys, one top 10 in 42 races. She's a terrible freaking driver, but she gets all this publicity because she's a chick. So Richard Petty said it. Look, she gets a lot of publicity because she's a woman, but she's not a good driver, and she would not win. So then Tony Stewart, who's like her owner because she drives for his team, was like, Richard Petty needs to shut up, blah, blah, blah. They should race. Richard Petty's he drove when racing is harder now, and when he drove, he had more money, so he always had a better car, and he would never win today. First of all, Tony Stewart, I guarantee you he would beat you, and he's like almost 80 now.
Oh yeah.
And the dude he had to drive shitty cars. You guys got $1 million freaking race cars. He had to drive when it was just cars. So I think it was a little harder to drive those cars than these ones who are just like monster horsepower machines. And he's like, so then Tony Stewart comes out saying, I think Danica should challenge him to a race, and when she wins, she can shove the checker flag up his ass. First of all, she'll never win. All Richard Petty has to do is show up to the track and he'll win. Because Patrick will probably wreck because it's all she ever does, and then she blames everybody else.
Let me come in with this.
Well, first, during Black History Month, you probably shouldn't say that Tony Stewart owns anybody. But,
all right.
Wait till next week, and then we'll be clear.
Well, I could also upset the feminists, the feminines, because they'll be like, men don't own women.
Feminines?
She drives
You're
for his...
a woman, and you just said the feminines.
Because feminists are idiots, and they need to shut the hell up. Because now everyone's jumping on Richard Petty saying he's a sexist. No, Danica Patrick's a terrible driver. Feminists. I meant to say the feminists.
The feminines.
I meant to say the feminists, but it came out feminines.
Anyways, no, listen, yeah, you're absolutely right. Danica Patrick is not a bad driver because she's a woman. She's a bad driver
because she's a bad fucking driver.
She's not good at driving. And she could be any color, gender, height. I don't care. And as long as she's her, as long as she's who she is, she's gonna be a shitty driver.
Yeah.
That's she could be a black man. She could be a Latino woman. It doesn't matter. She sucks, and she's gonna suck.
Yep.
No matter how you change the script there. What Tony Stewart did was, first of all, I can't exactly fault him because it's his team, so he's got to come out and can't be like, well, yeah, she works for me, but she is garbage. So yeah, no, he can't. He can't do that. And like honestly, the NASCAR fans out there, they love this concept of a duel and whatever. He would love the publicity of setting up Danica Patrick and Richard Petty in a race. Imagine the amount of people you could come
that would come to
just
that,
sipping on turpentine, watching these two, have an old gunslinger like Richard Petty, they eat that stuff up. They eat that stuff up. He would absolutely love WWE. So, I agree with you. It is everybody shut up. Just go watch. The tail of the tape speaks for itself.
Yeah, and that's what Richard Petty said. He's like, I'm not judging her because she's a woman. I'm judging her because of
she's
stats.
A shitty driver.
He's like, I judge off of stats.
Exactly. All right, thank you, Ashley. I want to move mine to the world of pre-draft, combine-esque stuff, if you will. It comes. My story comes to us but I'm gonna get a little bit religical here. Religical, just a touch. I'm not gonna argue one side or the other. No, well, I said religical on purpose. I'm not gonna argue one side or the other. This is not a debate for religical matters. Now I'm just saying it just to say it. But anyways, I'm just gonna come out there with this. This is Adam. This is a tough name. I want to say Muma. That's what I was thinking too. That sounds good. We'll call him that. Adam Muma is a running back for the San Diego State University. Whatever they are, Aztecs or something. Whatever.
I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right. He did not attend the combine. I'm trying to find his exact quote. Here we go. He said, God told me to sit down, be quiet, and enjoy the peace. And in return, the Lord would reward him by allowing him to play for his dream team, the Seattle Seahawks. In essence, saying, God told me if I skip the combine, I'll get to become a Seahawk. You have now put the entire NFL at an ethical impasse, if you will. If I am on the clock and I'm interested in this guy very late because he's very tiny, if I'm interested in him late and I draft him, I'm essentially defying the Lord. And if I'm the Seahawks and I don't want him, but I'm on the clock, I have to take him because it's the same thing. Don't want to be people. Nah, I don't care what God says. I listen to my GM first.
Honestly, that's probably why he did it. He wants to play for Seattle, the defending Super Bowl champions. He doesn't even have to play. He'll ride the bench behind Marshawn
You know
Lynch.
what? And I'm not going to get into like some kind of religious debate, but if you want to cheat the system like this,
Do that.
I hope you don't get drafted at all.
Right?
So, anyways,
Bringing God into
3 up,
it.
3 down time. Down number 3, Australia. That's what we mentioned at the top of the show. When asked about his team playing in the opening series, LA Dodgers pitcher Zach Greinke said there is, quote, zero excitement for it.
And I don't blame him. They got to
No
play. They got to
excitement
start
at all.
what?
His
A
words.
week early? 2 weeks early?
It's over a week, so that's
Asinine.
bull.
Stupid.
Down number 2, Jim Boeheim, the head coach of the Syracuse Orange, kicked out of the game with less than 20 seconds left, down only 2 points to Duke. The number one team in the nation, by the way, did end up losing to the Dukies. Down number 1, the United States, because we didn't win the most medals at Sochi, which means we might as well have won none.
Terrible.
Finished again second to our former Cold War enemy, the Russian Federation. And up
Bonus
time-
down.
Oh, yeah, bonus down. Go ahead.
The Metrodome in Minnesota.
Video
Finally,
is on our page.
yes, on our Facebook page, it got demolished. Finally.
sad.
Yep.
Finally.
Check it out. It's a good vid. We watched it just before the show. Uptime, number 3, Florida. After Syracuse lost to Duke, they are the new number 1 team in the country. And up number 2, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There you go, Junior.
Junior winning the Daytona 500.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah! Up number 1, despite we talked about earlier, Jason Collins. After making his season debut last night to the Nets, he has now become the first openly gay player in the Big 4 major U.S. sports. Now everybody
Bonus
can
up,
play.
too.
Yeah.
Bonus up. Happy birthday to former Browns quarterback Jeff Garcia.
God bless you and your
What is he, like, 50
Playboy
now?
model wife, right?
He might be on his second Playboy model wife. Because,
Well,
he
Some
got rid of the
people
first
just
one and got a
have-
fresher one.
Some people have good lives and some people are us.
I hate
All
people
right.
like that.
We're
When
gonna
you
take
got
off-
money, the Playboy models tend to flock to you.
I got $1.
That's not going to cut it. You need to
We'll
times
be
that
back
by about 100 million.
Next week, same time, same place, talking baseball, talking this, talking that, talking everything. So for Chris, for Von Erich, for Ashley, I'm Robbie saying good night, everybody. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for tuning in to High on Sports on MorningShowCentral.com.